Or shit.
All right, Bertie. It is again episode 1, 2, 4.
Part 1.
Part 1 of 1, 2, 4.
So we had Andrew D Gaurd in today. He was telling us all the beautiful stuff about how to become a guard, why he wanted personally to become a guard, promotions within the guards, and things, maybe questions that everybody would like to ask a guard.
Yeah. How to get around the law on certain things.
Yes.
He told us all of the sneaky little tricks that you can do to get around the law.
So maybe if you're thinking about going for the guards on the next intake, maybe this is the podcast episode for you.
Interesting fact of the podcast, Bertie, you can be over 35 now.
Yes, no age limit.
And go into the guards, which is cool.
Yes.
So okay, let's.
The dream is still alive.
Let's try. Let's try and name this thing, will we?
Yes, episode 124. What are we doing?
124. Okay, here's my suggestion.
Have you only one?
Yeah, I've only got one.
Okay, we'll sandwich yours in between my two.
Okay. Well, you go first then. Yeah, go on.
Okay. So we're going to go Academy Andrew.
Academy Andrew. Okay.
Yeah, because he likes Police Academy.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's quite good.
Okay.
My one is over 35. Would you cop on?
And then I had Templemore Training Day.
Oh, that's pretty good actually.
Because you like Training Day.
Because then you could, Templemore Training Day Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, Bertie, I think we'll go with yours yet again.
And you can put Denzel Washington on the cover.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Right, Bertie, I'm going to tee you up. This is part 1 of a lovely 2-parter over the next 2 weeks. But it is episode number 124.
Templemore Training Day.
Love it.
Nice.
Do you know what, Bertie? I never get to say, how was your weekends, boys, anymore. You stole that from me.
It's not the weekend one, though.
I know, but it never is. And then when it is, you say, how's your weekend?
That's on the quick bites.
I'm very annoyed about this. I've sent a letter into HR.
You have an awkward angle for me this week.
I know, yeah, sorry. I'm over your shoulder. I'm in producer mode today.
Yes.
Producer mode.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Bertie.
We're back, episode 124.
Yeah.
I think.
It is, yeah, because remember last week was 1, 2, 3.
Yes, we might do a 2-parter.
Yes.
124.5.
Don't give it away straight away.
Okay, so we have a guest in again this week for episode 124.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go any further, make sure anywhere you see the podcast, rate, like, share, subscribe. Wherever you see the podcast, comment and interact with us, please. Yes. Because it helps us keep it in your loop.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to know when we have all new episodes and things like that.
Yeah.
And on YouTube as well, so you can see quick bites in full video masterness.
It's
masterfulness?
Yeah. Getting good feedback there from the old YouTube.
Yeah. Quick bites is doing a spread.
Mainly it's my mammy saying, aren't you great?
And if you haven't listened to episode 123, we had Kevin Kane on, teacher extraordinaire from Longford. So make sure you listen back to that, and all our episodes are there.
Yeah.
We have a big Longford listen from last week.
Great. That's great. I'm not sure I want a Longford listen.
No, well. it sounds like something else though. Oh, you don't want a Longford listen? No, you don't. Anyway, we have another guest with us this week. We have Andrew D Gaurd, to give you your full title.
Is that your surname, actually? That was a really good profession for you to go into if that was your surname.
D is his middle name.
Right. That's called
Andrew D.
Nominative determinism. Do you ever hear that?
Yeah.
So if someone's second name is Butcher and they become a butcher, that's what that's called. So there you go.
I know Andrew from, he was my first client in the gym when we opened the gym. So we've known each other a while now, since 2016. And he's quite kindly given up his time this evening to come on and talk to us about being a guard.
Can I just say he's a good advertisement for your gym? You're in good shape.
I don't know about that.
I suppose, first of all, do you want to give yourself a bit of an introduction, a bit of background, where you're from, how you ended up down here? Because you might tell by his accent, it's not a local accent.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Donegal originally. joined the Guards in 2007, sent to Dublin in 2008. Spent most of my time in Dublin before coming down to Meath there about 2 years ago. I'm in Trim at the minute, which is handy for me. Like, I'm only living just over the border, so in Westmeath.
Right.
So,
and you were previously what? You were in Kells, was it?
I was in Kells before I went to Trim there, right? So.
And if you could say this objectively, which is a better town, Trim or Kells?
That's very political, so it is.
Yeah, no, it's okay. No, he gave us a wink. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Now we have I don't know, it's not a quick fire obviously, but we've questions set up and ready to go. They've all been vetted and secured and said they're okay to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question, I guess, and we asked Kevin the same too, about when did you always want to be a guard? Because a guard, a lot like teaching, and when we had Leanne on being a nurse too, that it's like more of a vocation rather than a job. That it's not something that, like, I don't think you get into kind of lightly and think, oh, I'm going to do this for a year or two and see how we get on or whatever. So was it, because you went to college first, didn't you? And did it come about that you wanted to be a guard, or was it a thing from like you were the little kid that dressed up as a guard?
No, I didn't dress up as a guard. Anyway, I had two uncles in the Guards, so kind of, and one of them would have been my godfather, so I could have always known kind of what they were at, work-wise. Went to college when I finished. I was actually half thinking about joining when I finished school, and then from speaking with the two uncles, they were kind of saying, no, look, you need to go and see a bit of the world first. Like, you'd be a wee bit green, kind of going straight in from school. So went to college in Galway, which was deadly for a few years. Yeah, just kind of when I finished college, there wasn't much work going in what I had kind of studied, and it was still there. It was always something that I kind of had an interest in going for. So when I was still living in Galway, I said I'd throw my name in the hat for it, and here I am.
And what was it you'd done in college? It's not necessary, you don't need a degree to go into the Guards.
No, you don't. No, I did electronic and computer engineering in GMIT for a few years, but no, you don't need to have a degree to go in. Now it can kind of help you if you're depending on what branch of the job you kind of want to go into. You know, it can definitely be a benefit, but definitely not necessary, you know.
And you say about branch, so well, actually, no, that's down the list. We'll get back to that.
Say if you go into the Guards and you have something in IT, when you automatically go in, are you like the IT guard with like all the problems? They're like, yeah, just give it to him there. He'll sort that out.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. It was further down the list about branching out and stuff, because obviously you have to do like the basic guard.
Yeah, you have to do your time. Like, so the units that most people probably most familiar with be like known as the regular unit. That's just like the lads working the 24-hour shifts or the 24/7 shifts in the stations. So yeah, you have to do a certain length of time on that, and then depending on where you are, you know, opportunities will come up then for like the kind of specialist units. So some of them will have it that you have to have a certain length of service before you're able to go for a role in that. And then obviously then there's kind of like a process, a selection process based on that then, you know. And
then just take it back then on how to actually get into the Guards. So obviously you said you wanted to apply for it, and I know they have, isn't it, open applications or intakes. So you all have to wait for an intake. It's not like a thing where there's jobs continuously like coming up for it. Like, it's recruitment rather than...
Yeah, so like when I joined, there would have been competitions through public services. It was ran through public service appointments. So like you had to sign up through their website, and you did like an online aptitude test and that, and then after that you went for an interview up in Dublin with the public service crowd as well. Once you were successful then through the interview, then you went down to Templemore for I went to up to the depot first in Phoenix Park for a medical, and then after passing the medical, I was down to Templemore for a fitness test.
And when you're applying, is it like interview? Is it like Scotty?
You can do it, yeah. Is it aptitude you're trying to
say? Tests.
Boardsman.
Thanks. Or is it like just an interview like for any other kind of job, or is like specific? I got that one.
Specific.
Specific. Questions to see are you like a good fit for the guards, or is it literally just like a general kind of question to see your character?
A bit of both, to be honest. Like, there was like kind of general stuff in relation, like your background and why you're looking to go into the job in the first place. Then there was kind of job specific stuff that they'd ask you about. Nothing too in depth, but just kind of to get a feel for it. And then there was also a section on it that trying to remember when it was, but you had to do kind of like a report writing. You were given like a clip of a video.
Okay.
Or a scenario, and then you had to write a report.
Observation skills and all that,
yeah, things like that. So I just can't remember what stage that was in, but I do remember doing it. But
and so that would have been, I think they've broken it down into stages. So as you said, it was an interview first, and then you went in person after the interview. The interview was online, was it?
No, the interview was in person.
Sorry,
yeah. We went up to the public service place on Abbey Street there in Dublin for the interview.
It's not like in Captain America when they're all lined up, like, and your man Tommy Lee Jones just throws a grenade and see who goes.
See who jumps.
And then is it a long process? Like, is it a waiting list thing, or is it to take the top 100, 200 people and send them in a specific intake down to Templemore?
Yeah. So when I was going through it, so I never really got like a number to say you were, 100 or whatever like that there, but you get contacted by the college and say, like, you've been successful in the application and that they are starting an intake in, mine was in October, I went in October, and they ask you if you're available to go in then. Now you can defer your place, so like if you're working at the time and you have to give notice or something like that, you can defer your acceptance.
So you'd be on the next intake.
Yeah, and then like that might be, that could be in January or something like that. But
and it's not a regular intake. It's only when is it when the numbers go down, or is it like literally every year there's like an October intake?
See, it's different now. But like when I went in first, there was nearly 4 intakes every year. There was the guts of 1,000 guards kind of coming because the numbers had been low, and there was like the accelerated recruitment thing was still going, so there would have been fairly big numbers coming through. Whereas now, like again, they're trying to get the numbers back up. Like I think they're aiming to get to 15,000. Like we're just at about 14 at the minute. So, I would imagine for the foreseeable future anyway, like there'll still be fairly decent intakes being brought in.
And then you said you done the medical, and that's a straightforward one. Obviously, nobody fails that, do they?
Well, I actually did.
No.
Yeah, I failed.
Oh, Bertie.
I failed the eyesight test, so I went and got laser treatment done on my eyes and then just went and did it again. So,
and then are you on that same? Did you defer your place then in order to get that done, or was it just like, oh, you need to get that done, like they told you? Or was it off your own bat that you went to get?
Yeah, well, they had said to me that like your eyesight isn't up to standard or whatever. So if you want to continue, you'll have to get something done for it. So I've been given a date or a kind of a broad timeline of when the fitness test would take place. So that like if you want to continue, you have to get done by then and give the. So like then glasses and contacts isn't allowed at the start anyway. At the start anyway, yeah. So if your eyesight is up to scratch at the start and deteriorates, like you're not booked out, like. No, you're not. No.
Regular laser eye surgery for the guards.
Because I'm trying to think with the guards I know. Have I seen guards wear glasses?
That's what it went through my head when he said it there. I was like, I've definitely seen a guard with glasses on before.
And then you go down to the fitness test, and it was on the telly about a month ago or something, was it? A reporter or something.
Yeah, I think they brought a few.
That's right.
media people line to do it, all right.
And it was beep tests, so many press ups, so many sit ups, things like that. So it's the same when you done with it.
Yes, you do a bleep test and this thing called like a push pull test. So there's a machine to have down there. It's kind of to simulate you, I suppose, wrestling with someone.
Yeah.
You do that, and then to have like kind of an obstacle course type thing where you have to, like hop a gate and drag a body and kind of run a balancing beam and things like that.
Wow.
In a time period. I think you do 2 laps and
is it like a thing where it's like really like fine, like you fall off that balance beam, you're gone? Or is it like Fittest Family where you can fall and go back and go again?
You can fall and go back again, but if you're out of your time, then
okay, so you have a specific
time limit.
Okay.
Yeah. And like the body end up having to lift, it's deceptively heavy, so it is.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
And then so if they've taken 1,000 people, then some medical, some are gone, then fitness tests, some are gone.
Yeah.
And do they have in their head like, well, we've 1,000 applicants, we need 400 out of those 1,000, or is it literally just we take 1,000 and hoping that they'll all be okay to go in? Like,
I'd say they would be hoping to get as many of that through as they can, because you're going to lose people. Just by the time they might have other stuff might come up in what they're, they mightn't be doing anything they've applied for.
Well, that's right. I suppose that they could be going through it and then suddenly realize, actually maybe it's not for me.
Yeah, so I'd say they're looking to get as many through as they can,
and then their background checks. Then they obviously do background checks and everybody's on.
Yeah, so once you've done all that, then there's background checks done, and I presume that you're told like they'll make contact with you, tell you that you're not being offered a place,
Yeah.
And in the background checks now, you don't specifics.
You're getting very specific here now.
Am I
you sound worried, actually.
Like, how far, just for anybody that's thinking about being a guard, like how far did they go back? Like, if you know that you have an uncle that's done something,
you sound really worried.
A few skeletons there, Bertie.
Just curious, just for the listeners in case they were going to be a guard. That's all.
I think it's mainly just immediate family.
Family, okay.
Kind of.
So if you have an uncle with offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands,
no issue. Is it true? No, I don't know. This is just something that I heard. Is it true that there's a height limit to get in?
There was a height limit.
But that's gone now?
It's removed now. Yeah.
Okay. And the other myth I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but if you have a certain amount of tattoos, that you can't get in either.
So they
body
can't
coverage or something
be visible. So like when
right.
you're wearing the uniform, they should be covered up.
Right. Yeah.
So
that'll be all right. I've got a ring.
Long sleeve shirt. Will do you?
Grand. I'm in. I'm thinking about applying now. I will.
Well, you're too old.
Oh, I mean, is there an age limit?
There is an age limit.
It's been extended there in the last recruitment phase upwards, I think, to 50 now.
50.
You can go into you can be 50 and go into the guards.
I think it's up to that now. Yeah.
That's like the rookie. You see that?
You go. Me and you, Bertie.
Nathan Fillion going back to being a guard in LA.
I would definitely do that. I'd love to be a guard.
Yeah.
Oh,
like 21 Jump Street there.
And what's the Garda Reserve then? Is that still a thing?
That's the thing. Yeah. There's still there's lads in there's a couple of lads in Trim, I think, and there was lads in Kells. And who used to do a few hours with us.
Do any of them do that in order as a taster to see, or is it people who had an interest in being a guard, if you've talked to any of them, and just other life stuff happened that they couldn't go?
Yeah, I know there was when I was up in Dublin, there would have been a few reserves that would have been in the station that went on to join full time. And then a few of the others like that, it was maybe a case that at the time when the age limits were in,
because
they weren't able.
35.
It was 35, yeah. So they mightn't have been able to go for it then. So it was always something.
Yeah. And was the Garda Reserve? Was it maybe you don't know this, but put you on the spot again. Was that brought in to help with admin side of the guards when was numbers low, or was that a recruitment thing where if they come in and they can trial it and hopefully best case scenario some of them go on to be a guard?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think it was just a case of trying to get more bodies out in the street. But
we have now John has put some of these questions in,
Oh, really?
So we have some comedic questions.
Oh, God.
So, is it true that if you knock a guard's hat off, they can arrest you?
No, that they can't arrest
they
you.
can't arrest you.
I've
sorry.
heard that one too.
No.
That's not true. Okay.
Okay, so
I'm
they
glad
can
I
arrest
didn't
you.
test that one.
You can still be arrested, yeah.
Is there a question there about needing to pee in the guard's hat? Is that one that you've heard?
I've heard that.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah, I don't know where that came out of either.
It's a weird one, that, isn't it?
I wouldn't be handing my hat over to anyone anyway to go to the toilet, to put it that way.
Where did that myth come from?
Oh.
I must Google that, actually.
A guard once left his hat on the top of my car.
No way.
Yeah.
Did you bring it home?
No, I left it back in the car station.
Good man, fair play to you.
At the time, I was driving the white van, and there was some other lad, around that had the same van as me, typical, that was doing stuff that he wasn't meant to be doing.
The uncle, was it?
Yeah,
There's those roots coming up again.
and I was driving down M Street, and obviously, like, I don't drink, so I'd be driving around late on Saturday night, as I did when I was 19 or 20.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was like 3 o'clock, and he was walking down, must have been from Zangles at the time, and pulled me over and asked me could he search the car. He probably didn't have to ask me, did he? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they have to ask
Do
before
they?
they do that to
I
you.
said,
Well,
oh, yeah.
you
I
have
said-
to.
Yeah, you'd be telling. Yeah, you'd be letting them know.
Out
And
of courtesy, like.
he asked me, I said, oh yeah, search away. I said, I don't mind. And then he checked the license, and then he said like, I can't remember exactly details, but it's like, oh, it's the wrong fella or whatever. But because he went to like look in the passenger door, he had taken his hat off and put it on the roof.
Uh-huh.
And then I started chatting to him or whatever when he realised I wasn't the other fella, and chatting away anyway. And he walked off down by Potterton's. And as I was going to get back in the car, I said, oh, there's his hat. And when I looked down, then he was gone.
Be honest now. Did you put it on for a second?
No, I didn't.
Ah, for God's sake!
I actually drove around. I actually bet him back to the car station.
What an opportunity! You never get that again.
Yeah, I don't know. Just to be sound.
So come here to me. Is there a little bit of a balance? Say if you can't be in the town that you're from, right?
Yeah,
is that true?
So I think it's 30k is the. You can't be stationed within 30k of your hometown or your home division when it's outside of Dublin.
Right.
Or like Dublin would be different, obviously, because you know the geography of it. Like you could have a fella from, I don't know, Ballyfermot being stationed in Crumlin. Like, you know, chances are he'd be.
30 kilometres would be a lot in Dublin.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like
5 or 10 kilometres would be a big difference. Like.
So is it the case actually up here we have a lot of country guards? The accent we usually get in the window is licence and registration. Now, down the country in Cork, do they have a load of dub guards down there?
I'd say they're probably off from Cork and trying to get back down.
It's rare you hear a Dublin accent coming in the car window.
And then what happens with moving? So if you're, say, stationed in a place and you go, can you live in that town then? Even you're not from it, but is there a thing that you can't live in the town either? Like you have to live outside it or whatever? No.
Yeah, well, like once you're kind of not from it, or like you'd have like family in it, really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like you can live where you're working, alright, yeah.
And surely after a few years in one, say you stayed in Trim now for another 5-10 years, you'll start to build relationships in the town, and that kind of negates the whole kind of not just being stationed where you're from, because you'll start to have friends and stuff, surely, will you?
Oh yeah, like it's what you need to though, like, because like if you're working in a community, you need them to be able to talk to you. So,
true, yeah.
Like if they know you from, I don't know, dropping like kids to school or the football pitch or whatever it is, like, rather than just being out working the whole time. Like if they know you outside it when you're working, it's nearly handier for people to approach you if there is something going on.
Yeah.
And that they can talk to you. And you need that, you know, because without it, like, we wouldn't be able to function.
Yeah, you need to build those relationships in the community, don't you? And that's part of the late night league thing I was telling you about at the start is all to do with building those little relationships and stuff. Yeah. Do you find that have you taken part in any of the late night leagues?
I haven't myself, not because it was mainly like when I was up. They started, I think, when I was in Dublin. It would have mainly lads in the community policing units that were playing in them. Now I know like plenty of lads that have taken part in it, and they are deadly, like, so they're, you know,
the 5-side Astro.
Yeah, well, not even 5-side, just as many to do with outreach to, say, teenagers and young adults and stuff.
And just to kind of get lads to see when you're not going around in the uniform the whole time that there's people behind it.
Yeah, you're a normal person. I often wondered when doing them, like, does it actually work, or does it go back to normal like the day after when these young lads are on the street?
Do they still do the No Name Club?
No, I think that's gone.
Was it? Oh. Because I remember the guards looked after that, or ran that in Trim.
Did they?
Yeah, I remember being down in the guard station, well, all of us, for the No Name Club.
It was for a different matter, yeah.
And also getting left home in the squad car, that was funny.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
that's probably something similar to what that was. It was like...
Yeah, just building community.
Relationships, yeah.
Very interesting. And do you find overall, so you might have had an idea, or well, you had 2 people in your family already that were guards, but did you have an idea going in as to what it would be like being a guard, and was it close to what you were thinking, or was it completely different?
It's funny, like, because policing in Dublin is completely different to down the country stations. And it's the one thing that I suppose you're not prepared for as much is the amount of paperwork and administrative stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
It takes a wee while to get used to that, and just kind of make sure you're able to keep on top of that. But yeah, like a lot, like the work is like it's enjoyable, like, and like that you get to have you'd have great crack when you're working, like, especially like, as I say, I did most of my time at the start up in Dublin, and it was deadly up there,
Really?
Great place to work, and even now, like, I really enjoy where I am at the minute as well, so but yeah, so to answer your question, I suppose, I had a fair idea of what it would have been like. As a lot of my friends, there's a couple of my friends at home, kind of growing up, their fathers were in the guards as well at home, so like I would have known plenty of them from when I was young, so you'd have a fair idea of what they were doing.
Yeah.
So,
and you're talking there about admin, and is it like, do you have to do a report at the end of every shift, or only if like something happens in shift?
Yeah, mainly if something kind of serious or happens, like you wouldn't have to be doing it on everything, like,
Yeah. Is that just in case like it escalates into like court, and you have to have all the information right, or
or like that, or if something happened at a house that or if there was potential for something happening that when you're finishing up, that you're letting the lads who are taken up, so
about
like
it, so that
kind of thing, or if there's anything particular, but it's mainly just in case to kind of mitigate against like any potential stuff as much as anything else.
And then do you know your notepad or your little notebook?
Yeah.
Do you have to like transcribe your notes out of that to like a proper, like, log them in or whatever?
No. So your notebooks, it's like, that's kind of, if you're going to court, that's what you're going with. Yeah.
Right. So no doodling in the notebook.
No.
Little pictures. So the shopping list down the side as well.
Yeah, you're in the middle. And he had brown hair, and he was 6 foot, milk, bread. Oh, oops. What's that?
Do you have anything particularly memorable, like a positive kind of story that sticks out to you, say, over the years, that you'll kind of you'll tell the story kind of over and over again? Of being a guard. Not in Bertie's gym.
Jeez, I don't know.
Even something from, say, the early days when you first started, something that kind of caught you by surprise, or just a simple mistake.
Is it like, are you looking for like a Jim Gordon moment where he like, helped Bruce Wayne be Batman?
Pretty much, yeah.
From being nice to him at the funeral of the parents. Nothing like that,
didn't
inspire any vigilantes, right?
No, just something like, like, for example, say someone, a kid in an estate or something, where you helped them out in a certain way, and you saw them a month later, and they were thriving, and after you giving them help. Am I going a bit deep now? Am I?
We can let you think about that one.
Yeah, right.
Come back to that one.
Come back.
I have a question here that John put in as well, and it just I'm going to read it, but I don't know what these letters mean, so maybe they mean something to you. I think John's trying to be smart.
Right.
He says, "Did you take part in riot training in McKee Barracks with the RDF NCO training course?"
I haven't done that training, no, but I'm presuming he's on about like the public order training. What's
RDF NCO?
It's Regional Defence Force, isn't it? It's the
Oh, is
FCA. That's the old or the new FCA kind of thing, isn't it?
So he must have been up there with the FCA because John was in the FCA.
He was in the FCA as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That must
So the lads do the public order units do the riot training. They would have been like the lads deployed there last November, and stuff. But I never did. I haven't done that course. Right. No.
Where were you actually last November? You were in Kells, so yeah.
I was in Kells.
Oh, right, okay. Sitting in front of the telly, sipping the tea.
I think I was actually on my way home. To be honest.
Did they bring in guards from outside of Dublin?
Yeah.
So that was just the call went out and was like,
anyone
here.
Yeah. I think there was just they sent out.
But you have to be a specific riot guard though.
Yeah, so there's training for the public order unit, all right. I think they do it up. Well, I think they do some of it up in Grange Gorman and the campus up there. But
I heard the riot shields have Bluetooth capability.
What?
And why would a riot shield have Bluetooth capability? I think someone might have been joking.
Oh right, okay. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know if you're playing music going into.
It's interesting. No, you weren't involved in that at all.
No, not at all.
But anyone from this area got the call to go up that evening? No, not even. It's just interest. I'd look to see how far they kind of sent that.
Sure. I know they come into Meath and Kildare, Wicklow, I think as well. Lads might have been sent for it. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you, like how far they would have looked for people, like, but.
That was a crazy old time, wasn't it? In fairness,
it was fairly mad, alright.